Welcome to episode 5 of Creator Conversations, where I get the chance to have a conversation with some of the most influential content creators here in this personal finance and credit card niche we find ourselves in. Last episode, I had the pleasure of speaking with RJ Financial about his disdain for Amex, why he's on Team Cashback over Team Travel, his favorite cashback credit cards for 2023, and much more. And in this episode, I was fortunate enough to get to talk to one of the most well-known creators in this credit card and personal finance space, not only about his experience in the credit card game, as well as his YouTube career that he has built because of it, but of course, I had to throw some more fun questions at him too, like if you could only have 2 credit cards, what would they be? We also talked about some of his most luxurious travel redemptions that he's done with his credit card points, and a lot more than that as well. And without further ado, I'd love to welcome in Ben Hedges into our conversation here today. Ben, how's it going?
Hey, Spencer. Happy to be here. Share my passion of credit cards with you guys and your audience.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have you, man. I mean, obviously, like we've talked about a little bit here, I've gotten to learn a lot about credit cards from you and your channel. So getting the pleasure to talk with you is also going to be great, not just for me, but for the subscribers as well. So I really appreciate this. I guess just to jump it off, might as well start by having you talk a little bit about who you are, what you do. Might as well give a brief intro for those that don't know you, if that's possible at this point. But
sure. Well, I'm Ben Hedges, aka the Credit Shifu. That was my my channel name for a long time, although I changed it to my own personal name. And basically, yeah, my channel on YouTube, we talk about how to build your credit score and how to use credit cards to accumulate points or cashback or whatever to use for luxury travel experiences. I've had probably over around $40,000 worth of free travel through credit cards as of now. I stopped counting when I got to about $26,000, business class flights, 5-star hotels, that kind of stuff. Yeah, basically that's what we do. We teach people how to use credit cards to get free travel and also build your credit score to unlock business opportunities that you can do with a high credit score.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think, as I mentioned, personally, I've gotten a lot of value, and I know every single time that, I talk to anybody in this space, they obviously know who you are, know what you've done with your channel, and they've learned a lot from you too. So it's just great to be able to share that knowledge and just share the space with you. But as for your actual YouTube channel, would you mind telling us a little bit about how and why you got started on YouTube, when that journey started and everything like that?
Yeah, sure. So this will probably lead you down a rabbit hole. But anyway, so I came to the US in 2011. I worked at a TV station in New York called New Tang Dynasty TV, or NTD Television, the Chinese American TV station. Chinese was my major in college, modern and classical Chinese. So their, sort of mission is to broadcast uncensored news to China. And it was for a good cause. There is a practice called Falun Gong, which I practice, like a meditation practice. It's a Buddhist practice. And the practitioners of this practice in China are persecuted. The communists throw them in labor camps. And trust me, this story is going to get to credit cards eventually. But the communists throw them in labor camps and torture them. And it's crazy. So I become very interested in human rights in China. And I eventually, when I graduated college, I accepted this job in New York as a reporter doing basically China news, uncensored China news, and kind of fighting the communists, right? Doing a good deed. I didn't make that much money doing it because it was a nonprofit, great company, but you don't make that much money working for a nonprofit. I did become the number 3 internet celebrity in Taiwan while I was there, though. We had a YouTube channel called A Foreigner's View of China, and it ended up having about 700,000 subscribers. And so literally I was a celebrity. Like, I was living here just like a normal guy, and I'd go to Taiwan about 3 months a year, three times a year for about a month each to work and do videos and stuff. And when I was there, I was like, every 5 minutes on the street, people are like taking photos with me and stuff. It's crazy. And I probably could have made a lot of money if I wanted to move to Taiwan, but I just didn't want to. So when me and my wife had our first baby, we realized that we needed to actually make some money. And so I was like, well, I've already done pretty well with this YouTube stuff, working for someone else. Why don't I start up my own channel and just do my own thing? And at that time, I was kind of into the points guy because, the website, the points guy, I'm sure because I had, when we got married, we had to get a place together and stuff, and renting a place. My original place was just given to me by the company as a perk of relocating to a different country. But, we wanted to rent a place together, and we found that you needed credit score. You needed a credit score to do anything in this country, right? So get this, we didn't have a credit score at the beginning. So that place, that one, not even 1 bedroom, studio apartment in Queens, they asked for 3 months rent plus, so 3 months rent up front plus a security deposit of 3 months rent. So 6 months rent up front, which was like, I don't know, 7,000 or something, which at that time was quite a lot of money for me. So 7,000 up front. And so it was then I was like, wait, why is that? Why do we have to do this? And they were like, well, it's because you don't have a credit score. And so, yeah, I think actually it was before then I discovered it. Even when I went to buy my wife's engagement ring, I tried to apply for the Macy's credit card, the Macy's store card, because you get a discount. And I got denied even for the Macy's store card, which is like, they're just giving those away, But the guy took pity on me and gave me his friend and family discount. But anyway, so yeah, I realized I needed a credit score. So I started reading The Points Guy. And then I discovered, oh, in addition to building your credit score, you can earn points and you can get free flights and stuff like that. So I was already trying to do that. My first card was the Chase Freedom. And it was that year that the Sapphire Reserve came out. I think it was 2016. So I actually started my channel just because I was interested in it. I was like, oh, I'm spending so much time reading articles about this. I could just regurgitate the information on YouTube, doing what I already know, how to make a YouTube channel. So I did just that. And then my first kind of like viral video, well, not viral, but like popular video was how to get approved for the Sapphire Reserve, because that was sort of a viral credit card at the time, 100,000 points bonus. You know, it was kind of a first of its kind, like a credit card that caused a huge buzz amongst people who weren't even necessarily into credit cards at the time. So yeah, I started having success with that. And then the channel just grew from there, you know?
Right. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I think I missed out on all of the Chase Sapphire Reserve hype. Now I feel like it's just one that is talked down on at this.
It's a bit of a dinosaur now, isn't it?
Right. I don't know about that, but yeah, no, it is. It's definitely not the most popular anymore.
The Venture X is kind of like the new Sapphire Reserve, I think.
Right, exactly. At least with the hype around the, yeah, I do hope that they make the Chase Sapphire Reserve a little bit more enticing for people, because I love Chase, and it just sucks that they're not as popular right now. But
I think the 1.5x, the 1.5 cents per point though is still like really great benefit, because if you're booking like an economy class flight, you normally get more value out of the travel portal doing 1.5 cents per point than you would if you transferred it out to an airline. You know, it's only really when you book like business class and stuff that you do get that like 2 cents per point or more value. And the convenience of that, no blackout dates, 1.5 cents per point. I mean, it's great.
That's a fair point. That's actually something that I learned a lot from you, and you kind of changed my mind around to it as well, that it really is a good card if you're traveling a lot domestically and in economy.
Yeah.
Like even if with my Chase Sapphire Preferred, if I want to go book a Southwest flight, I'm getting like 1.4, 1.5 cents per point normally. So it's like at that rate, Chase Sapphire Reserve makes a lot of sense, but I still like to be able to get some higher redemptions, at least with like Hyatt domestically is one that I've been getting a lot of value from. But
yeah, Hyatt's that's a Chase transfer partner though, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah. Which you could get either way.
I should know that. I did a whole video about this. It is a Chase transfer partner, and it's one of the best. It's like typically like 1.7 cents per point or something minimum.
Exactly.
You know, or if you book like, what's that one in California, that Ventana Big Sur, you can get ridiculous value for that one.
Yeah, hopefully they still keep that same value with all the, I guess, the changing in the categories they did recently.
Wait a minute, Ventana. No, you know what? They did devalue it a little bit. I remember. I seem to remember they did. Yeah.
It all comes at some point, I guess, but got to take advantage of it while we can.
Yeah, actually with Hyatt, the all-inclusive resorts, Hyatt Ziva and Zilara, I've had good redemptions with them, because it's basically, they typically cost about $400 a room, and you can get them for like 20,000 points, like Hyatt Ziva Los Cabos, Hyatt Ziva Cancun, and it's like all you can eat food and drink.
That's awesome. Well, it's good to know a little bit about the beginning of your channel. I know one area one channel I saw you on really early on, whenever I was getting into credit cards pretty heavily, was you actually made an appearance on the Iced Coffee Hour with Stephan. I don't know if people know about that as much, but I think it'd be really interesting if we could hear a little bit more about your experience there, what you learned from it. If, just anything you took away from that, I think it's really cool.
Yeah, that was cool actually. Cause like, so I did this video. There was one time where you could get 100,000 points on the Chase Inc. Preferred, but it was only if you had a relationship manager with Chase. Like, so if you had a business account there, and you had a dedicated manager for your account. And I felt a bit bad because in the video, I didn't really fully explain that. And some people went in to Chase to see if they could get it. And because they didn't have the business relationship manager, they didn't get it. But Stephan actually commented on the video, and he said, I watched your video. And then I went into Chase, which is opposite where he worked at I think it's Oppenheim, like the real estate agency he worked at. And he got the bonus. He was like the only one. I was like, wow, at least someone got it, and he left a comment as well. So I felt a lot better. So yeah, that's how I kind of got introduced to Stephan. And he was actually really cool. Like I reached out to him another time for some tips on when I was buying my first house. I can't remember what I asked him, but it was just some tips about getting a mortgage or something. And he was like, yeah, man, sure. Just, get in touch anytime you want. Like, he actually gave me his number, and he was just like, oh yeah, just, anytime you want some real estate tips, just, get in touch. So basically one time when I was coming to LA, I was like, oh, hey, if I can come to Vegas, can I come on the show? And he's like, yeah, you'd actually be the first credit person we've had on the show. So that was really cool. And got to check out his new studio. I met his videographer, Alex, who's actually really cool guy, and I got on with really well. Actually, there's a funny thing that happened during a show as well that he didn't include in the final episode, I guess, because it was a little too out there. But halfway through the filming, he's just sort of gets up and he goes to a closet, and he comes back with this bag of white powder, and he's just like, he opens it, and he's just about to like put his finger in or something, and then he goes, oh, Alex, do you want some of this too? And Alex is like, yeah, I'll get some of that. And I'm like, what the, and I was like thinking excuses in my head. Like I could say I'm driving. I could say, I was like, do all these big YouTubers like they all be high on cocaine or something, But then obviously it was a prank, because afterwards he's just like, I got you. And I was like, dude, I thought that was real.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
That's
guess it
funny.
was a little too out there to include in the final thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, he filming with him was cool. I mean, he's a powerhouse. He uploads like probably like 9 videos a week now. He's just it's really
It's insane.
what he's done is really awesome. And personally, I don't really watch his main channel anymore because a lot of the stuff on his main channel I'm already like researching and I know it all already. But I love watching his second channel, the one where he commentates on or does reaction videos to stuff. I think it's hilarious because he's got a great way of making jokes and stuff about finance topics. So that's what I mostly watch. And if he has an interesting guest on Iced Coffee, I watch that too. So yeah, great experience shooting with him.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, obviously, I think most people in this space would know about that show or at least have an idea about it. And I've never talked to anybody that had an experience with him in general. So I just thought it'd be cool to at least talk about and hear more about your experience. I guess are y'all still in contact today? Do you still reach out to him at all?
I saw him. Well, I met up with him and Alex last time I was there in Vegas. I mean, I don't know him that well, but yeah, I definitely, probably if I go to Vegas, I'll probably meet up with them again. I don't know, maybe. I mean, we're all in the same agency as well. So
Gotcha.
our agent is the same person. Well, I think most of the finance creators are in the same agency now, and some people like to roast them for it. But as you've seen recently, probably let's not mention anymore. But yeah,
but yeah, that's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. I'm not exactly sure what the timing was on your transition. I know you touched on it a little bit earlier, but I know that whenever I first found your channel, it was all Credit Shifu, and at some point you made the transition away from Credit Shifu to Ben Hedges. And I think that's an interesting thing within like the people that are really into the YouTube strategy and everything like that. What caused you to make that switch? And yeah, if you could explain a little bit more about that, I think that would be really helpful.
Yeah, really the main reason was to get the word credit out of the name, because I wanted to kind of get it, bigger and into more like personal finance topics and stuff. The only problem is it's kind of difficult to do when you've made such a name in credit and all your subscribers are after like credit card stuff. It's noticeable that for example, if I upload stuff about stocks, it just gets no views. If I upload stuff about luxury travel, it can get views. Like I had a video on 10 Las Vegas travel hacks you need to know. That got a good amount of views quite recently. If I upload stuff about sort of making money like through investments in other ways, like some of my videos on treasuries have done pretty well, US investing in treasuries. So it's a little bit hit and miss with non-credit card stuff. But yeah, that was really my intention, was to move away from just credit cards and bring it into more personal finance in general. And I'm building an Airbnb cabin. So once I've finished that, I'm going to have a load of content. Well, I've already got a few videos on it, but I'm going to have a load of content about that as well. So doing business, entrepreneurship, that kind of stuff. But it's hard. Like I give you a warning as a new YouTuber or a newer YouTuber, it's hard to transition an audience once you've already made your name for something. So think hard about your niche, whether you really want to be totally about credit cards or whether you want to have your niche a bit wider. Because once you've had a few big videos and you start to get a load of subscribers that are subscribed for one thing, very hard to change. So
exactly. Yeah. And, personally, I do think that your personal finance and just like more general videos are some of my favorite. And I would imagine that most people will also say that, but it's just the algorithm that might not, algorithm as in how YouTube presents your content to people, it's just different, which is weird. And I've seen people struggle with that with a lot smaller size audience as well. But it is definitely an interesting thing that's behind the scenes. And I imagine that's why you changed the name, was to just be able to encompass more topics.
Yeah. So, I mean, some people said like, they thought the name was racist, but, because it's like a Chinese word, Shifu. But I don't really think that at all. I do think it is a little bit niche, because it's like some people actually don't get it. They don't know what it means. And, I was born, I don't know if I said that, but I was born in Hong Kong. I lived there for 9 years as a kid. So Chinese stuff has always been a really big part of my life. I want to share it with people. That's why I chose the name in the first place. But after a while, I just felt it was a little bit too niche, both on the credit side and on the sort of cultural side. So yeah, that's why. Although the wallet brand is still called Credit Shifu, and I still use it as sort of a sub name. Like all my Instagram and stuff is like at the Credit Shifu. YouTube now has handles, so it's at the Credit Shifu. So I still use it in the like username, but it's just not as front and center.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I guess that does lead into my next question I had for you, because on the same topic of different topics of videos that you've been making, I guess what prompted you to start your other channels? I know you've had multiple in the past, and
Oh
the
yeah.
Credit Shifu, Ben Hedges channel is not the only one you have. So what kind of prompted you to do all those?
Yeah, I mean, like doing YouTube channels has basically been what I've done for the last like 10 years or so. So I had a channel at that company, Foreigner's View of China, which was very big in Taiwan, 700,000 subs. And when I left that, we had the Credit Shifu, but then me and my business partner, who was also from that company, we both left at about the same time. We had a Star Wars channel called Generation Tech, which when we parted ways last year, I just gave that to him. He took over it, and I kept the Credit Shifu. That's actually a huge channel. It's like 600,000 subscribers. And then we had another one called Generation Films, which is like 300,000 subs. And that's all about science fiction and stuff. Because like this guy he loves Star Wars. And I kind of like science fiction as a kid, but I wasn't really that into it after I grew up. But I don't know, I slaved away watching I remember I watched 15 seasons of Stargate just to write videos about it, right?
Jeez. It's a time
And I mean,
commitment.
yeah, like I like the show, but I do find it, when I'm watching it for a job, it does spoil your enjoyment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did videos about like Star Wars, Star Trek, Stargate, anything with star in the name we covered. And yeah, we did make some good money doing those
Right.
channels. But when it got to like early last year, I was just totally burnt out by it. So basically, we split our company, and I just retained the finance stuff. I also have Generation Snow, which is my ski channel, which we just started for fun, really, just to try and make some money off our ski trips and see if we could fund free
Yeah.
ski trips. And
Exactly.
it's actually quite successful. We make a few $1,000s a year off of it, enough to pay for like season passes for like me and two other
Yeah.
guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. And we're just doing like GoPro videos and stuff. It doesn't even take that much editing.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then I had another channel called the Business Shifu, which is like 13,000 subs, and that channel's kind of dormant. I just I just don't have enough time to really do all of them anymore. I even hired an editor to edit my videos because I don't have enough time to. Well, I want a life where I don't have to work as much.
Right.
Yeah, spend more time with the family and passion projects and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to ask too. When you get to the point where you have, channel on most all of your hobbies, how do you find that balance between it being for a hobby and now being for a business and for a job?
Yeah, I mean, that can be tough. I think every YouTuber faces like burnout after a while. I mean, you look at someone like Casey Neistat, who was like the king of YouTube back in 2015. I was watching his daily vlogs like every day, and
Yeah.
he did that for like 2 years or something. I think he almost got divorced because of it. But I think he admits that it really burned him out, and now he just occasionally uploads, but he's already made the money, from all that, so he's all good, right?
Right.
And I think
Right.
that's kind of like the strategy. I think with YouTube that kind of works is just like, while you have the drive to really do it, to really grind, just try to make as much money as you can doing it, and then invest that in other things.
Right.
But like now I'm going into real estate, which probably in the future will be my main thing, and YouTube will be more of a passion thing. So I'm
Right.
not as like on the treadmill, like on the hamster wheel kind of thing with it. Because if you want to have a career in YouTube, you really do need to like keep uploading. Like every couple of days, you need an upload. Otherwise, your views do just kind of drop. There may be some kinds of channels that are very evergreen that have videos that consistently get views, but I haven't found that with my channel. I found that if I stop uploading, it really does drop off. So
Right.
yeah, but I don't have the same fire for it as when I was like, say, 30. I'm 37 now. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like my aim really is that by the time I'm 40, basically all my income is passive. Like I don't need to actually work if I don't want to, which I probably still will work, but at least you get that base income that covers all your costs from passive stuff, like properties and things. So yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I've kind of taken away. I mean, I still have a long way to go with my career in general, with YouTube in general as well. But
What's your job? Your main job?
I'm a civil engineer.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
YouTube's like a side thing on top of that.
Yeah, and it's getting to the point now where it's really, able to support a lot of my expenses, and I'm at the age now where I'm like, I do have that fire where I'm like, let's see how hard I can go with it right now, and I'm sacrificing a little bit of, I have to work, all day during the day and then come back and work on YouTube at night, but when I have that passion and the ability with low responsibilities to do it, I'm really trying to do what you said and try to capitalize on the opportunity I have. And that's kind of been my goal. Really, my big goal for 2023 is be able to get this to a point where it really is a business that I can actually live off of. And luckily, I've just been really lucky to have the success I've had. I didn't expect it to happen as fast as it did. And obviously, I'm still a small channel, but at the end of the day, you can find a lot of success on YouTube, which I've found to be really cool. And, like you said, I do expect at some point that everybody faces some burnout. And that's why I was kind of curious too, because for someone like yourself, where you're uploading usually multiple videos a week, you also have other channels. I imagine it gets to be a lot. So have you found any like techniques that have helped you kind of?
Well, hiring an editor was my biggest thing because I used to edit everything myself. I mean, there was a point in time when I was doing 2 science fiction videos a week and like 3 or 4 credit card videos a week and editing all of it myself. And then the pandemic happened and my kids were at home for 3 months or however many months it was. And that was, oh man, that like really killed me. The only thing what we were very lucky was that everyone got wildly interested in investing in stocks at that time because the market was like on sale. So we made a lot of money promoting Webull and stock trading apps and stuff. So it kind of saved us. Yeah, we got the PPP loan and we gave it back. We had it in our account for a month and we were like, wait a minute, our incomes come right back up again. We don't need it. So we were very lucky.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But having the kids at home really just like it really, it really screwed with me. So it was after that I was like, I gotta get an editor. So I hired an editor, a guy who I knew just lives like down the road, who at the time he was like, he was working for Amazon as a driver. And I was like, dude, I can give you a better job. come work for me. I'll teach you to edit. And
awesome.
yeah, so he's pretty happy with it because it's way better than delivering packages for Amazon. And I've got so much more time. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's tough. Like doing what you're doing is pretty tough. Like if you work all day, a mentally challenging job where you're designing stuff, doing engineering, and then you come home and you got to edit or you got to write, it is tough. So how old are you?
I just turned 23 yesterday. So.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. Happy birthday. Well,
Thank you.
Yeah, I think at 23, I would have been fine doing that for a few more years. So I think you can do it. Just grind. Like Gary Vee says, right? You like grind for a while. Yeah,
Exactly. That's the plan. But yeah, luckily I have some really good models in this space that have already gone through this process, right? I mean, for example, it's a lot of people's full-time gig. Obviously, it's your full-time thing. I've talked a lot with Daniel Braun. I'm sure he's popped up on your feeds.
Oh yeah. Actually, I was supposed to do a video with him. Was it Daniel? Yeah, I was in contact with him a while back. And I was like, yeah, when I come back to the US, we'll do a video. And I think I forgot about it. So I probably should hit him up as well.
Yeah, his channel's insane. But yeah, he's very similar path. And he went all in like pretty soon out of college. And he's obviously doing really well now. So
it's cool to see what's possible. Full-time.
Yeah.
He's full-time? Oh, nice.
He is now. Yeah. Whenever I started talking to him, he was, probably down at like 20-ish thousand subscribers and he's already at like almost 80 now. And I was like, less than a year ago. So he's moving, but yeah, it's awesome just to see the success and have people that are like you that are willing to jump on a call and talk about this stuff is huge. I think that's what, this space needs a lot more of. And why I wanted to do this series too, is because I think people like to see that, we actually do, have very similar lives and we can talk about these things. And I think the viewers really enjoy it as well.
Yeah, so, I like doing collabs. I mean, like some people are a little bit snobbish. Like if you're like at a few 100,000 subs, you won't like necessarily accept it from a channel that's like 10,000 or something. But I personally think it's a little bit dumb. I think, it's good to just come on whatever show, unless they're like, someone's got 50 subs and poor production quality or whatever. But yeah.
Well, personally, I obviously really appreciate this, and I hope that everybody is, has been enjoying it. And I do want to, of course, everybody's probably hoping that we talk more and more about credit cards in general. That's what our channels are focused on. So I'd like to transition a little bit out of the YouTube talk and talk about some of your redemptions that you've done so far. I think you've done some of the most redemptions, at least out of people that I've seen on YouTube. Of course, like Sebi and people like that are also doing a lot of redemptions. But
so what Sebi's done is a lot of the aspirational ones, like the overwater villas and stuff, which unfortunately are ones that I can't really do having 2 kids. It's a little hard.
Sure.
Because to get to like the Maldives, it's a very expensive flight halfway across the world. My kids can't even swim yet, so I don't really want to go to an overwater villa just yet. So, but I have done some pretty cool ones. I mean, I do British Airways Club Suites every Christmas. That's with points. That's exchanging several $100,000 worth of points. I've done a lot of hotels in Vegas now, which oftentimes they're not actually redemptions, but they're like, enhanced stays because you get the Amex Platinum with the $200 credit on the Fine Hotels and Resorts collection. I've done the whole status match thing. So I've got the high status on every single Las Vegas hotel, right? I've got like, Caesar's Diamond, I've got MGM Gold, I've got Hard Rock, Rock Royalty, Wyndham Diamond.
That video you made on that was really enjoyable. I think a lot of people enjoyed that one. Even people I talked to, like other creators, like that was an awesome video. But didn't you just have your last one finally accept the status match recently?
I did, yeah. So, well, I did the first video a year ago, the Atlantic City one. And that was when I did the initial status match. And actually, I'm really lucky because that has ended now. They killed Caesars to MGM, right? But because I already had MGM, I'd already done the whole thing, right? And matched to Hyatt. So now Caesars, not Caesars, MGM and Hyatt, you can just keep matching back and forth between them. So in theory, unless they change it, which they probably will, but if they don't change it, in theory, you've got it forever. You just match back and forth. And then Wyndham Diamond and Caesar's Diamond, you can maintain by having the Wyndham business credit card. But yeah, that was a year ago. It's weird though. That video didn't get many views. It only got like 10,000 views. I was disappointed. I thought so much effort going to Atlantic City, driving 3 hours. I thought it would get more views, but
it definitely was enjoyable for those that watched it, I would say. I mean, that was, you know, we make so many videos on credit cards or just the space in general where it's so factually based, where it's not as much entertainment, which I think is a line that you've been crossing to make all of your videos more entertaining than just informational, which I think is very hard to do in our space. And that was probably the most, I mean, I'm sure you've made a lot more similar to it, but that one I remember sticks out of my brain as being one where I was like, I can sit, watch this full thing, super enjoyable the whole way through. So
that's cool. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, probably the best set of redemptions I did though was this mega trip that I did a while back where I spent 500,000 points from, you know, Chase, Amex, a few different, you know, types of points. And we literally stayed in a 5-star hotel every night for like 20 nights. So we went to the UK and then we flew via Dubai to Taiwan, which, you know, I go to Taiwan a lot because of my background with there. And then, we stayed in like the Regent, which is this amazing 5-star hotel. We flew business class to Japan on Japan Airlines with fully flat beds and stuff. And we stayed in Crown Plaza in Japan. That was, you know, pretty good one. Amazing breakfasts. Then back to Taiwan for like 5 more days. And yeah, every single night was either a hotel free night certificate, which you get on hotel cards, which are pretty common, or a points redemption.
That's insane. Yeah. I've not had a redemption like that, but I imagine that over time it'd be cool to do something like that. I've just been stockpiling them all for something similar, but now it's
okay. So how many points have you got stockpiled?
Across all of my cards, I mean, it's not insane. I know people have a lot higher, but I've been lucky enough through welcome bonuses, mainly through welcome bonuses and referrals and such, to where now I have probably close to like 600 or 700,000 points that I could use for
that's good.
Something cool.
But that's more than me. More than me at the moment.
There's the argument for should you be stockpiling them or just trying to actually, you know, use them, because the longer I let them sit there, the less value I'm getting from them.
Well, I mean, they do inflate, right? They raise the prices, so they kind of devalue over time. But I mean, I definitely use them. I don't stockpile them. I know people who've had like 1 million points in their account. I've never had that many. I think the most I've had is around like 400,000 or something. I just exchanged 300,000 at Christmas for flights. And then I just uploaded a video on it today. I got 2 new credit cards, the Business Platinum and the Ink Unlimited, and together we'll get 288,000 points for the 2 welcome bonuses. So that's going to be I'll have over 300,000 combined with the ones I've already got. So that'll be for the next trip.
It's one of those things that, you know, I haven't had the ability to do yet, because so far I've just been working, you know, W-2 jobs and stuff. But the fact that you have to pay as much in taxes as you do being self-employed is definitely, it can hurt the bank account at the end of the year. But at the same time,
well, I mean, you got to save for it. I mean, you've got to like just take maybe 20% of everything you earn and just put it aside. In fact, you're supposed to pay
the quarterly
estimated taxes, but I never do it. I normally just put it in an account that earns, you know, I mean, I think now with the stock market, not really. In the past, you could earn like say 8% in the stock market, and the penalty was like 3%. But now it might not be worth it. I don't know. I didn't do it this year, but I probably will do it next year. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, at least you'll get a lot of points out of it this year.
We'll get a lot of points out of it this year.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, once your YouTube channel is earning, you know, some money that you can call it a business, because a business can be a side hustle, right? So you can get a business credit card with a side hustle. So basically, once you've kind of exhausted like personal credit cards, like you don't really want to add more lines of credit to your personal credit report, you can do business credit cards and they don't show up on your personal credit report. And then let's say you start another business, you can get them again. You can get even the exact same one with a new EIN again, with not with every issuer, but with some. Like with Chase, certainly you can get, my business partner, he got a Inc. preferred when we started our company together. He got 100,000 points. And then when we split our company last May, he went and got another Inc. preferred with his new company and got another 100,000 points just because he had a new EIN, a new employer identification number. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's something I've been implementing. I do have this like officially running like with an LLC and everything, so I can take advantage of that. I've applied before I had the LLC. I applied as just a sole proprietor, so I have the Chase Inc. Cash and Blue Business Plus on the business side as a sole prop, which technically I could also now apply for them with my EIN.
That's what you can do. If you applied for one with an SSN, later you can get another one with an EIN. At least with Chase, you can do that. Yeah.
Exactly. And those bonuses too, man. Those Inc. bonuses were super valuable. I could only like afford to really hit one of them without having to stretch it. And I don't think you should ever obviously be stretching to hit a welcome bonus.
I mean,
But
there's some tricks
points.
like if you wanted to buy like gift cards or something for a grocery store that you're going to use the following month. And that one has the 0% APR for a year. So you could like buy, I don't know, thousands of dollars worth of gift cards and then just save them and use them throughout the year or something like that, you know?
Yeah. And especially with the Chase Inc. Cash, I know a lot of people implement that because you're also, if you buy those gift cards at office supply stores, you're getting 5x back on all those gift cards. Try to do it during when they waive those activation fees for the Visa cards, and then you're just getting 5% back on all of those purchases with
the activation fees are the ones that are just like credit, like debit cards or whatever, right? Prepaid cards. But if you buy just like regular ones for grocery stores or something, I think you don't have the activation fee, do you?
Yeah, I guess most people, when I talk to them about it, they're talking about those Visa ones that, they're just a debit
People
card.
are doing MS. They're all about the Visa prepaid cards because then there's a way of like paying off your credit card using the Visa prepaid card to send it around in a circle. But I don't really advocate that. I think it's, you know, that people take manufactured spend to the level where it's kind of a job. And I think, well, if I'm going to do that, I might as well just have a real job. You know, I just like make money doing an actual job.
Yeah, it's one thing where it's like natural. You're hitting welcome bonuses because of your spend. You're applying for new cards whenever it makes sense for you. But yeah, whenever it's super, super calculated, it can get a little bit too much. But
yeah, because it's kind of like I could use the same mental energy to make money making YouTube videos or selling wallets or signing people up for stock trading apps and stuff like that. So digital marketing. Yeah.
Actually, do you mind us talk about your wallet company a little bit more too? I know.
Oh yeah.
I haven't necessarily seen you be like pushing it as much. I know they're still, like you said, they're still active. Is that something you still are looking to have people?
Yeah, I should really relaunch it with some new designs. I mean, I've still got quite a lot of stock. I haven't really ordered new ones for a while, and I haven't really promoted them that intensely for a while, just because I don't really know why, actually. I just haven't. I probably should, because people do like them, and you can actually make quite a bit of money selling them. And it also reminds people to watch the show as well, because when they see their wallet, it reminds them of the brand, and then they're like, oh, I'll go home and watch the latest video. So I should really do it. The only thing was we were getting them from China. I normally don't really advocate buying stuff from China, but because my wife is so good at like actually finding decent like vendors, you can actually get some really good stuff. Like if you know where to look, you know, like not everything from China is like cheap, crappy stuff. So we were able to find this wallet workshop that was pretty good. The only thing was during the pandemic, it shut down and actually went out of business, unfortunately. So then we got them from another one. And I don't know, the second one I didn't like as much. So I don't know. Eventually, maybe I'd like to look for a supplier that's made in America and we do like a more expensive wallet, like $80 wallet or something. But I kind of liked selling one that's pretty cheap, like $30, because it's like you don't really have to think too much about the purchase, and people.
It's also just, I was gonna say, it's a way to just support your channel too without having to, you know, sign up for anything else. It's just, hey, let me actually buy a wallet that I'll use every day. And I've always thought that it was a really good idea to do something like that. And the fact that I think you're the only creator that I know that has a wallet, I think it was really smart. So
yeah, I should probably rinse it a bit more, you know, because you're right. No one else does that. And actually, at the beginning, some other creators even reviewed them. Like I think Proud Money did a review of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's funny. Yeah, it's one of those value propositions that you have. It's also like another thing too is it makes it that much harder for other people to want to do it because now you already have a good bit of the market there. Theoretically.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I love the look of the products. I loved every video you've made about them, but I thought it was just a cool added thing that you can take away from YouTube. Like build a business off of YouTube that isn't directly tied to AdSense and sponsorships and stuff like that. So that's cool. That's
true. Yeah. You're giving me inspiration to start making an effort with them again. The only criticism of it actually was when I went to Graham Stephan's podcast, and he had sort of a minor criticism. He was like, you should do a product that requires people to keep buying it. He said that's why he did
Oh,
coffee,
yeah.
because it's like a product that people buy his coffee and then they run out of coffee and then they buy it again. But with a wallet, you're
Right.
probably not going to buy another wallet for like 5 years, So,
Fair point. Yeah, if they're made right. Yeah.
ours
Interesting.
are made right. I've used one for like easily 5 years and it hasn't broken. But that was kind of like a good little insight from him that was kind of like, oh, wow, yeah, you got a point there. Make something that keeps having to be replenished and then you
Right.
keep having repeat customers.
Speaking of wallets, I think we should talk a little bit more about just a fun question, really, that I had for you that I think will tie in well to a video I made recently too. But my question to you is, if you could only ever use two cards, what would those two credit cards be? See if we can start a debate in the comment
Oh,
section.
all right. Well, I think one of them would have to be the Amex Gold, because that card I get, so much value from the dining and grocery category, right? Those are like my two biggest categories. And then I need a card that gets me some of the higher level perks. I'd probably have to go for the Amex Gold and the Amex Platinum together, the
Yeah.
Schwab Platinum. Even though it's like, it would probably be cooler to get a card from two different issuers. But I think those two work so well together, because the Platinum gets you all the hotel statuses like Hilton Gold and Marriott Gold. And you also got the luxury hotel collection, which I use a lot. I really like
Yeah.
that. It's great in Vegas. I use it in DC. I like staying at the Conrad in DC. It's really nice. You get extra perks. You've got the option of redeeming for cash back at 1.1 cents per point if you want. And then you got a good set of transfer partners. I use British Airways the most, because you can book American Airlines with it. And it's a pretty good redemption rate. Yeah, I think the most points I've earned just from general spending, not welcome bonuses, I would say have to be the Amex Gold. And then also just the service on Amex is really good. Like, their customer service is good. Chase's service is pretty good, especially on its business cards. Maybe on its personal cards, you have to wait a little bit longer on hold and stuff. But yeah, I would say if I could only have two cards and we're looking at personal cards, it would be those two, probably the Amex Gold and the Amex Platinum.
Yeah, I think it's a solid choice. The one, like, in the extreme hypothetical that I'm making, where if you could only have two, it'd be hard to have them both as Amex cards when it comes to like traveling out of the country, because if Amex is not accepted. But obviously people in our situation who are really passionate about it are going to have more than two.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you could alternatively say, hey, Amex Gold and a Chase Sapphire Reserve, because that has its advantages, like the 1.5 cents per point. But then you don't get the Hilton Gold status, which is a really great benefit of the Platinum, I think. I got so much value out of Gold. And I don't know, for some reason I'm Diamond now. I don't know why. No idea how I became Diamond. I think it's because I was Gold from the Platinum, and then during the pandemic they lowered the bar to get Diamond, and then I stayed a few nights and that put me up to Diamond. I don't know, but yeah, all of a sudden I was getting upgraded to like suites and stuff. It was really cool. Yeah, I'll take it.
I had a subscriber the other day tell me that Amex upgraded him to the same status, and I was very confused. I was like, how does that
Diamond.
How's that possible? But yeah, I don't know if he said that he basically made it sound like they were just handing it to him. And I was like, interesting. So there's probably more to it, but I wonder if they're pushing their statuses a little more. I'm not sure.
Maybe I should research this a bit more, see if anyone else has this problem.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I think there's definitely the argument to be made that just the Amex Gold are just a workhorse card in general, in combination with a luxury travel credit card. Granted, as long as you want to use all of your points for travel and, value those statuses and those credits that come on those cards. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you have to get positive value from these credits. Naturally is the biggest thing that I like to try to tell people, because even personally, I could go and get the Amex Platinum and justify it on my own. But personally, I'm not going to get the most value from it right now because of my travel habits. And for someone like yourself who's
travel
traveling
quite
a bit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The Platinum makes a lot of sense, especially the Charles Schwab.
If you like to go to, and if you like to go to Vegas, the Platinum, really, you get a lot of value out of it, Yeah. Because the hotels there are so cheap. They're like $200 a night, right? For a 5-star hotel. And then you get like $100 credit, and you get $100 breakfast credit. So it's like $200 already. You get room upgrade, and then you move hotel and you get it all again at the next hotel. You can get so much value. So, I mean, in one trip to Vegas, if you go for like 3 or 4 days, you can easily outweigh the annual fee just from those hotel benefits.
That is fair. I'm excited to get it one day. I will get the Platinum at some point, but yeah, like right now, for me, I don't necessarily need it, so I'm not going to force myself.
Well, you want to space it out as well, because like Amex is one sign up bonus per lifetime per card. So it's like, there are certain cards you don't need to get straight away. You just save that bonus for later on and get it when it's a good bonus,
Yeah. And Amex is also one of those people, or one of those lenders, that's not going to necessarily care about your hard inquiries and your, number of accounts opened as much as other lenders. So
they don't care. They don't care. And they don't do typically a hard pull if you've already got a card with them, which is really cool. Like,
yeah, that's one little strategy I'm thinking of implementing. It's not even necessarily a card that I need, but I've been considering getting the Amex Amazon Prime card, because they have a business card that you basically, like, since I have Amex cards, I won't get a hard pull. It won't add to my 524 account with Chase, and I get a free welcome bonus for no spend. It's like, well, if I have nothing else going on and I don't have the Amazon Prime with Chase yet, it could just be an easy one to add. And basically
Amazon Prime with Chase, that's another no-brainer card for me, man. Like, I buy a lot of stuff, and it's basically a 5% discount on everything you buy there.
Exactly. That's another card I'm excited for. But as we come to the tail end of our conversation here today, I want to give you the space to be able to talk about a little bit more about your goals for your channel in 2023, as well as just your goals for your entire business. Because I know you have obviously multiple channels and a lot of stuff going on. So
well, my goals for the channel, I just want to keep doing more content that's not quite as much about credit cards, that's sort of branching out and stuff. So we're building this property right now. We're about halfway through. We've got about maybe 2 or 3 months left. So it's going to open this summer. So people in the audience, if you're in the New York City area, the Northeast, basically, you can come and stay in the Catskills Mountains. We will have discount codes for subscribers. So, check our channel. It's going to have a hot tub. It's on 3.7 acres of private woodland in the mountains. So yeah, that's kind of like my project for this summer, is getting this thing up and running, and I'll be making videos about it. And yeah, basically my idea is really to branch out into real estate, starting with short-term rentals, and then maybe doing a hotel in the future. Once I've got like 2 or 3 short-term rentals, go to a bank with the business plan and say, hey, give me like several $1 million, and I want to make a hotel. Luxury. It's all at the high end of the market as well, though, because through doing the whole credit card travel hacking stuff, I developed a love for luxury hotels like the Ritz-Carlton and like the Conrad and all that stuff, all those brands. And so yeah, my short-term rentals are going to be, well, they're going to be the luxury end of the market. I'm even going to get the robes from the Ritz-Carlton, which is really cool. Marriott has this Marriott has this site called Marriott Boutiques, where you can buy all of the stuff from all of their brands. So you got like Ritz-Carlton, Westin, St. Regis, like from high to low. You can buy like the sheets, the robes, the beds, like anything you liked from one of their hotels, you can pretty much buy it on their site. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do for, some of the products in there, like the robes and bed sheets and stuff. It's going to be from 5-star hotels. But yeah, that's my plan really, is that, we're going to keep doing YouTube, but we're expanding beyond it into businesses outside of YouTube, I guess. I think that's what a lot of people do. They make some money on YouTube, and then they're like, oh, I'll invest in this, or I'll invest in that. You see, like Ask Sebi has his like startup thing going with Nate O'Brien, and they're doing like I think what's called like Roadrunner Ventures or something. And Brian Jung, I think he buy like a Japanese barbecue place, or like a shares in it or something. I seem to remember.
Maybe so.
I think he did. Yeah, I don't know. He's always posting pictures of it. I think it's a restaurant he part owns, or I don't know. Whatever. I could be wrong, but yeah, that's kind of what people do. You make some money on YouTube, try and make as much as possible in a shorter period of time, and then try and get that into other investments.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome. That's obviously also a long-term plan of mine, but for now, just focus on that grind mode, I guess, of just getting the content out and growing a subscriber base, which I'm really excited about. Sounds like one of the videos I might need to make come this summer is a review of your cabin out there.
Oh yeah, if you want to come, man. Yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun.
You can come and make
a little trip out of it. Yeah, that'd actually be pretty cool. Whenever you posted the first video about it, in my mind right away, I was like, I'm gonna come stay. You got to.
Where are you based?
I'm in Austin, Texas, so I'm pretty far, but I'll make the trip.
Yeah, we would definitely welcome you.
Yeah, I got the points, so I can at least get there for free probably. But
yeah,
it's cool to see like the different stages that people are at. I've talked to multiple different creators obviously so far, and plan on talking to a lot more. And majority of us are still in the stage of like building up to the point where we can, live somewhat passively off the income, but also just parlay all of the profits we've made into another business. And I think that's the cool thing about this space, especially in the personal finance space, is you have a lot of business minded people in here. And again, part of the reason why I want to do this is just so we can make more connections with each other, because you never know where all of us will end up in 5 years from now. I don't think YouTube's necessarily something I'll be doing for 20 years, but
I'm very careful with that as well. I think it's like relying too much on YouTube is a little bit precarious, because I got to think like, what if YouTube, you see TikTok might be getting banned, right? You think of all those people on TikTok who it's their livelihood, and they're all going to have to suddenly scramble to like, oh my goodness, I should have set up a YouTube channel like 3 years ago or whatever. Yeah, it's crazy. But then imagine if YouTube collapsed, and our income left, so our income disappeared. So it's, you've got a full-time job, so it's not as big an issue. But if you were doing YouTube full time. I think everyone who gets big on YouTube needs to start thinking of where am I going to put this money, put it into other investments. And then gradually you get out of YouTube, and then YouTube is still a great income, but it's just not as multiple streams of income, I think, is what you need really when you're
exactly.
Yeah.
You see, that's how, all the wealthiest people are wealthy, because of how many streams of income they have. So it's definitely the end goal.
Yeah. And that's why they stay wealthy even when there's like a recession or something.
Fair.
Because maybe one or two of those streams disappear, but then other ones actually go higher because there are certain things that are inversely related to a recession.
That's a good point. Well, I know we've taken a good amount of time here to talk. Do you have any final parting words? Of course, I'm going to be leaving all of the links to really anything you have down in the description, of course, your channels and everything, so people can come learn more about you if they haven't heard of you, or if they just want to now see more. But do you have any final thoughts you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, I just say to people, like, there's a lot of possibility out there, whether that's thinking about, building a credit and getting lots of credit cards to do aspirational trips, or building your credit to become an entrepreneur and, get banks to give you money and then you can go and make more money and stuff. There's like a lot of possibilities, especially in this country, So yeah, I'd say like follow your dreams and try and associate with people who are a little bit further down the path than you are, because then they bring you up rather than other people kind of pulling you down. And yeah, go for it.
That's awesome. Well, Ben, it's been a pleasure. I really appreciate you joining me today, and look forward to future conversations, hopefully. But at the end of the day, I'm just super appreciative that you took the time. So thank you.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And we got another video, haven't we? So you can check out, I'm going to grill you on your opinion that the Amex Gold and Venture X is the best credit card duo. So we'll have that video on my channel if you guys want to check it out.
Yeah, that'll be a good time. I'm excited for it. So let's get into that now. Y'all go watch that one for sure.
Okay.
Thanks again, Ben.
Thanks.
And that wraps up our conversation here today. If you do want to check out that video on Ben's channel that we were just talking about, go ahead and click that video here. And if you want to see more creator conversations episodes that I've done so far, then go ahead and click into this playlist here next. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.